Hey guys, what's going on? If you're new here, welcome. My name is BrittanyNichole, and today I'm gonna share with you my first 2022 makeup tutorial. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I have not worn makeup in a very long time. Last year, I barely wore any makeup, which is why I wasn't doing many makeup tutorials. But like I said in my last kind of get ready with me video, I am inspired again. So I thought I would just kind of get out some of my makeup that I love and trust and do a little makeup tutorial. So I'm going to keep this intro very short and sweet. If that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and keep watching. So I'm gonna have to ask you to be very kind to me with my eyebrows. I haven't had them done since September and I am waiting to get them done for a friend's wedding at the end of the month. So they're just doing their own thing. I don't touch them. We're just gonna work with what we've got going on. So I've already prepped my skin. This has been my tried and true moisturizer for probably a year now. It's the Skin Medica Rejuvenate Moisturizer. Really, really like this. I put this on maybe 30 minutes ago, let it sink in. But before I did that, I put on the Rose Inc Radiant Reveal Brightening Serum. This is Rosie Huntington Whiteley's brand. I'm actually using quite a few things from her brand. Really, really like it. I ordered it before Christmas. I think I ordered it on Black Friday, and I've been using it ever since. It's kind of like my staple when I want to kind of look ready but not look ready in the morning. So I did that, I let it sink in, and I'm gonna go in next with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in number 2 Light, just to kind of give myself a little bit of brightness in those highlight areas. So it's all the high points of the face. That was Theo making himself known. So I'll go cheekbones, down the nose, a little bit here, a little bit on the chin, and a little bit over the Cupid's bow. I cannot stop using the AOA Studio Paw Paw sponges. These are $1. I used to know it off the top of my head. It's like $1.59 or something like this. They're just the best. They're so affordable. I order them in bulk and they last all year. So just a little bit of the Flawless Filter. Less is more for me. If more is more for you, that's fine. I just find I'm super uncomfortable when I go too heavy with my makeup these days. So less is more for me, less layering, unless of course there's like a wedding situation. There's times and places when you need a little bit heavier, but today is just an everyday. So I'm gonna go in with the Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I've shade 15 Warm Vanilla and 20 Warm Beige. Not sure if these will match my very, very pale winter skin right now, but this formula is beautiful. They sent me this last year at some point, and it's just really, really nice. It's not too runny, but it's not too thick, and it just feels nice on the skin all day long. So again, I'm gonna try to just go in the places that need a little coverage. This actually seems to match my skin perfectly. So I always start in the center of the face where I need the most coverage because I'm pretty red there, and then I work my way out. I could not take myself seriously with my hair like that. So now that my foundation's done, I'm putting the hair back down. But I'm gonna go in next with the Rose Inc Concealer. I just wanna tell you guys first about their customer service. So I ordered this shade on accident, which is 10. It's like their lightest shade. And I asked if I could exchange it for 40, which is like light, medium, maybe light, I can't remember. But they said that they don't do exchanges, and then they sent me this for like a one-time off type of situation for free, which I thought was absolutely amazing. They did not have to do that at all. So really nice customer service, and like I said, really nice product. So I'm just gonna go 1, 2, dot, 1, 2, dot, and then I'm gonna take 10, the lightest shade, and I'm gonna put that right in the center, right in the center. This is very, very full coverage in my opinion. So I've been using my finger to blend it out because it's all I've been using on my face, like all over the face. So this is actually the first time I'm only using it as a concealer, but I do know it's gonna be pretty full coverage here. So I'm just gonna kind of tap that in and blend it out. The finish of this is so natural. It's not too dewy and it's not too matte. it is just really, really a nice product. And the best part about it is it does not sink into my fine lines, which you guys know is always a problem. I do have a lot of fine lines under my eyes. I don't get filler under there or anything like that. So it's always kind of a struggle. I put too much over here. I can tell this is too much product, but I really like that it doesn't sink into my fine lines or anything like that. And it's nice and brightening. I'm a big, big fan of it. I'm a big, big fan of all of her products so far. I have her facial globes too. I should have done that on camera, but I keep them in the fridge and I do that on like my self-care Sunday day. It's so nice. Next, I'm gonna go in with blush. This is also a Rose Inc product. This is her blush in Azalea. Super pretty, again, beautiful, beautiful formula. So I've only used this with my fingers. This is the e.l.f. Putty Blush brush. This is pigmented, so be careful with it, but it's kind of like a creamy texture. See how I put my brush in there and you can kind of see the little brush marks. So I'm gonna try it with the brush and see what I think. Yeah, I really like that. Super pretty. As always, I take my sponge and just kind of tap it in so it looks a little more natural, but see how it has, again, like a really nice natural finish. It's not too matte, it's not too glowy. Really, really gorgeous stuff. I'm so sorry if you're hearing noises in the background here. George is thoroughly obsessed with that very spit-filled ball. I'm gonna have to go wash my hands in a second, but he's obsessed with it, so he won't put it down, so yeah. Sorry about that. I just love that blush so much. You could use it with a brush, your fingers, a sponge, and it's multi-purpose. You can dab it on your lips as well. I do have her lipstick, which we'll use probably. Actually, you know what? I think it's in my car or in a purse, so maybe we'll use that, but it's really, really good stuff. So I'm gonna go in next with the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Bronzer. This is the shade number 2. I love this stuff. It's so silky on the skin, and you know, sometimes I'm just in the mood for a powder bronzer, and then sometimes I'm in the mood for a cream bronzer. I don't know what it is, but I want super, super light coverage. This is just a very, very seamless bronzer, and I don't know, it looks good on everybody. So just gonna add a little bit there, a little bit to the cheeks, and then a little down the neck to kind of make everything look seamless. Let's go ahead while we have the blush out and just tap that on the lips. Let's get these brows on because these brows need some help. I'm just gonna go in with the Milani Precision Brow in Taupe since I have like no color at all in my brows, and I'm just gonna do the bare minimum here to fill in. I was very rough. It's super hard to do your brows when they're in like a grow out stage because it's hard to go over areas. It's hard to shape them. So we're working with what we got. But to set, I'm using, you guys know, my favorite, the Benefit 24-hour brow set. Nothing compares. I did pick up the Rose Inc brow gel and I like this. It really does have a nice hold, but nothing compares to the Benefit. I can't find anything that holds all day long with this, but I will say this is like glue for your eyebrows. It's hard and it does get flaky if you like rub them towards the end of the day, whereas the Rose Inc is a little bit softer and it does have a nice hold, but this it holds longer. So I kind of flip-flop back and forth, but if you want longevity, go with Benefit. If you want something soft but still has hold, Rose Inc is great. All right, and just to finish things off, I'm gonna grab my Becca, Chloe, Malika. I know they don't sell this anymore, but this highlight is just my absolute favorite. I'm gonna grab that on my Anastasia. I think this is an A23. It rubbed off. I'm just gonna pop a little bit of that up here, down the nose, Cupid's bow, chin. I'm also gonna pop a touch of that on the inner corner. All right, so for the eyes, I'm gonna grab the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette. I know a lot of people hated on this because it was just like any other palette, but I do like it. It is a nice palette, and I threw away like all of my old palettes when I was moving. So I needed a neutrals palette that I could kind of throw around and really not care if I break it because it was super cheap. So I'm gonna start out with a mix of Just Barely and Good Vibes, and I'm gonna pop that in my crease. You guys know with hooded eyes, what I like to do, I have a mirror and it's kind of angled so I can look down into it and I can see where my orbital bone is. You'll get used to your own eye shape when you start doing this, like yours might not be where mine is. So I kind of look down and that's where I pop this color, and I do this very, very lightly. A lot of people, when they're talking about hooded eyes or when they're doing hooded eye makeup, they say to darken that area to push it back because your eyes are hooded and they're kind of like going forward, right? But that does not look at all flattering on me. It makes my eyes look heavy. I have a heavier brow bone, so when I put heavy shadow, dark shadow up there, it just makes everything look heavy. So I'm gonna go in very, very lightly, looking down just in that orbital bone area. And I do take it all the way in. If you wanted to lift the eye even more, when you get out here, you can kind of go upwards and, you know, kind of flare that out. It's always a good idea to kind of lift the eye. And then I'll also kind of tilt my head and deepen that outer fourth. It's very hard for me when I have Botox to do my eyeshadow because it freezes everything, so I can't do that, right? I need to do that to be able to like get into my orbital bone and place the color where I want it. So I actually haven't been getting Botox as much for that reason. So I'm gonna grab a pencil brush and dip into Good Vibes and Just Barely, and now I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna just add that really, really tight under the eyelid. And then I'm gonna dip just into Good Vibes since I have a smaller brush now, and I'll just kind of deepen that outer corner a little bit more. Kind of sticking with a triangle shape. And then I'll flip right back to that Smith brush that I was using. This is the Smith 230, I think it was a 230. And I'm just gonna run over the edges so nothing is harsh. So I'm just gonna even out these eyes and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so eyes are finished. So I'm gonna go back into the palette and I'm gonna grab a little bit of Birthday Suit and a little bit of All Luxe, and I'm gonna kind of mix them together on my finger and press them right into the area where we haven't put any shadow. I'm not gonna go too heavy here. I just like a little bit of a, you know, sheen on the eye. So I start in the middle and then I kind of work my way in. I have chubby fingers, so sometimes it's a little bit hard for me and I have to kind of switch to like my pinky finger or a brush, but I don't want this to be perfect. I just want it to be like a nice wash of color. And you do want to kind of blend it right into the matte shadow, but don't pull it all the way out. And I push it right up to that orbital bone. Always remember, wherever you press down first is where there's going to be the most concentration of color. And then with a super, super light touch, just barely grazing the skin, I'm going to just kind of feather out the edges so you can't see any harsh lines. I wasn't going to do this, but since I have it out, I have this Good Boy Super Shock Shadow from ColourPop. I'm just going to take a little bit of that. It's very like diamondy. I'm gonna press a little bit onto the eye. Super Shock shadows and any kind of like sticky or wet formula work really well on hooded eyes because they don't have as much fallout when you go to blend. If you're using like a straight up glitter, a lot of times there's fallout when you go to blend it. I don't have that issue with Super Shock shadows or pressing regular shadows like I did with the Jaclyn Hill palette onto my eyes. I don't do this all the time, but I am gonna do it today because I think it'll really kind of complement the look. I'm gonna take MAC Costa Riche and I'm gonna line both the upper and lower waterline. My camera's gonna die, but I'm gonna give my lashes a nice curl, and then you already know I'm going in with my Thrive Cosmetics liquid lash extensions, and I will meet you right back here. Mascara is done. I know I got a little bit heavy-handed and it is a little dried out, so I've got a little bit of the kind of spidery lash going on, but it's okay. I don't mind that. It does bump up the volume for me, which is what I was looking for, but it's definitely time to throw this one away. I think she's been open for about 6 months. So that is it. I did want to let you know I went in with a little bit of my Dr. Pepper lip smacker. I love this stuff. I love the little tint it gives to the lips, the little shine. If you guys didn't see my video, I don't know if it was last year or the year before where I tried nostalgic makeup, this was part of it, and I cannot get rid of it. I absolutely love it. So I added just a little bit of that, and that is it. I love how this looks. I feel like me, I feel confident, I feel comfortable. Everything is super, super lightweight, but just looks polished. So I hope you learned something in this video. I know it's a little bit longer, but that's kind of the give and take. When I do longer videos, I'm kind of giving you guys more information and sharing more information with you and trying to teach you and educate you on what I have up here when it comes to hooded eyes and makeup. But with short videos, you guys can watch them quicker. I just can't say as much. So let me know what you prefer. I'm 99% sure you guys are gonna say longer videos with more tips, but let me know. Maybe you like shorter videos. Maybe I can somehow figure out how to talk less and still give you the amount of information. I don't know. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year, everybody. If you have any questions, as always, let me know down below. Otherwise, if you're interested in seeing any more videos from me, please subscribe. It means the absolute world to me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.